So, hello and welcome to another episode of the Fitness and Freedom Podcast. I hope you're having a fantastic day. As always, if you enjoy these episodes, you know what to do: like, share, subscribe, get the word out. Because the more we get the more word out, the more amazing people we can have on the podcast, like today. Joining me from the UK, actually. But I'm pretty sure I've seen him here, there, and everywhere. Dubai, traveling the world. And he's amazing. He specifically works with women. He's got some unbelievable transformations. He's just an awesome guy as well. Reece Hallard, how you doing, brother?
Firstly, thank you for such a nice intro. It's very kind of you. I'm doing well, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well. Friday. I mean, the weather's not amazing, but it's not
Yeah,
too
yeah.
bad.
We
Can't
was literally
complain.
chatting before, we're obviously both from the UK, and it seems like if you're a coach these days, you don't live in a rainy climate. And I look outside my office window just here, and it's just an absolute flood. But
I know.
I'm sure maybe the listeners are probably similar UK or US. They can probably relate.
100%, 100%. So yeah, dude, like amazing. Thank you for coming on the pod. And it's going to be an action-packed pod, actually. Loads of value. I know you specifically work with females and
Yes.
get some amazing transformations, and I think we'll delve into that later, how difference between weight loss versus body transformation,
Yeah.
which we'll go into, in a bit more deep. But yeah, just give the listeners a bit of like a feel for who Reece is and what he does, and kind of like what even got you into this in the first place, really.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, growing up, I always wanted to be a professional athlete. Like that
Mhm.
was my thing. It's like every spare 10 minutes, I'm either watching a video of somebody who played in my football position to learn, or I'm out on the field practicing. And I was, oh gosh, I think I must be 17 or so. I was kind of like on the brink of making it professional with football. I was kind of like in and out of professional clubs, and my mom was struggling with perimenopause at the time, and no matter what she tried, nothing would work. She would
Mm.
try the typical fads you can think of: Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Juice Plus, you name it, right? And just nothing would work. All of the advice on the internet was wrong, and it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch just when it's so close to home. So I thought, right, I like to think I know how to be fit. Obviously, at the time, I didn't know, me being a 17-year-old guy, it was completely different. But I thought I'll go away, I'll do some more research, and I'll try and create you a plan myself. Said to my mom.
Mm.
So I'd done some research, created a plan, and she transformed, and it was really nice because I kind of saw her get her spring back in her step, and she felt great again. And I thought to myself, there's so many more women, I guess, that are just fed bullshit on the internet, right? Like,
Mm.
just fed like this lie of how health and fitness should be, and how you need to be taking a certain product or be doing a certain ab routine if you want to lose weight. And I just thought, if there's so many more women like my mom out there that are struggling with the BS on the internet, they feel invisible, they feel neglected. I want to help those women. So that's what got me into female coaching at quite a young age. I felt more, the thing for me that done it, I got more butterflies transforming somebody and get like that text message, oh my God, I feel great, I fit
Mm.
into this dress, or whatever it may be. Though that felt warmer to me than scoring a goal on a football pitch. And that for me was that moment that I was like, I feel like this is what I'm meant to do.
Amazing. Like impact.
Yes. Yeah,
Impact.
absolutely.
And it is
Absolutely.
true. Like it is true because I don't know about you, but when I similar thing, when I get a message or something or a screenshot from someone, like I'll give an example is we had a Vicky on the program. She's completely reversed her type 2 diabetes, right?
Wow.
She's no longer even in the pre-diabetic range.
It's
And like
amazing.
that's real shit. Like that's
100%.
that's
Life
impactful.
changing.
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel about that, but like it makes you from a personal level, selfish level in a way, it makes you
Oh,
feel
mate.
good about what you're
Oh,
doing in the world.
so fucking good. So good. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you got your mum a transformation
Yeah.
and that inspired you to want to essentially spread that love to more females and make them feel like that, basically.
Quite literally. I mean, she had some friends, actually, believe it or not, that like my first client, her name was Sophie Williams, was a friend of my mom. She was like my first. actual like paying customer, if you will.
Mm.
Like, I chatted to my mom. She's like, I want some of that. She was my first like paying customer. And I remember she worked at Salesforce in London. She was super busy, a very high stress job, and it almost came with a slightly different set of challenges, like understanding the female body, because
Mm.
when my mom transformed, she was a receptionist at a primary school. So kind of like almost at 5 o'clock, she would go home. It's, like just kind of relax for the evening. And then this new client, Sophie, is like, I leave the house at 7. I don't get back till like 9 p.m. My
Mm.
commute's an hour long. I got deadline stress and my hunger's off the Richter scale. And it almost came with a whole new set of challenges. I was like, oh, wow, like this is a bit more in depth than I thought. And that's when I had to almost really go down the rabbit hole of education around things like hormones and finding more of a unique approach per person, because the harsh reality is cookie cutter generic programs for women over 30 don't work.
Mm.
If you're 20, 22, and you can kind of eat less, move more, and you're all right. But we know now that advice for women over 30 just does not work. It doesn't work. And yeah, that was like where this whole thing kind of started, right at the beginning.
I love that, man. I love that. And interesting that you said there, you saw your mum go down the fad and the marketing schemes and
Yeah.
this and that. And she's not alone, right?
No.
And how long ago was it that you did this transformation for your mum?
Oh, that must have been just over 10 years ago.
Right,
Just
10
over 10
years.
years ago.
And
Yeah.
me and you both know that to this day, that same marketing bullshit is just being regurgitated 10 years on, right?
Even worse now.
And even worse, yeah, even worse. And like, hey, it's probably going to get even worse, right?
Yeah,
Who knows? So, talk to me about some of the most common mistakes you see with women over 30, because I know that's kind of
yeah,
your
yeah,
speciality,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that prevents them from truly making long, I would say, lasting, because anyone can lose 5 pounds and gain 10 back.
Of
But
course.
yeah, talk to me about some of those biggest mistakes you see from women.
Absolutely. I think the first most important word you used there was long lasting,
Mm,
because anyone can kind of do anything, can have some temporary success, right? And what most women don't understand is that temporary success usually comes from water. So if I did Weight Watchers, I cut back on carbs, I don't retain as much water in the body. I'm like, oh my God, like I've lost 10 pounds my first 3 days. This is
mm,
amazing. Then all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, you're like 20 pounds heavier and you're like, what the fuck's going on, right?
mm,
So I think the first biggest mistake that women make is following generic routines. And it's tough for a lot of women because it's hard to understand what's right and what's wrong, especially when you've got like $1 billion company like Weight Watchers that understand how to market with
yeah.
teams, right? But I would say following generic advice on the internet is definitely one. I think the other is ignoring the complete foundations of weight loss.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is most people think if I want to lose weight, I need to do more cardio. I need to cut my carbs out. I need to, do spin classes in the gym. That's going to make me lose weight. When in actual fact, it's going to do absolutely nothing, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you get a bit fitter, like, psychologically you're walking through the front door of the gym, which might make you a little bit better with nutrition, but that motivation will be temporary. And when it wears off
mm,
and you're frustrated with no results, you're going to be pretty disappointed. So I think the foundations of women that they need to focus on is things like sleep, stress management, becoming aware with what they're putting in their mouth, the foods that they're eating, the liquids they're drinking. If you're going to work and you're having a matcha and then you're having a caramel latte, and these calories creep up, right? So
mm,
for most women, they think I need to go to the gym if I want to lose weight. No. You go to the gym to develop muscle and increase
mm.
health, but weight loss is done outside the gym with how you optimize your metabolism, with your nutrition, with your activity, with your sleep, with your stress management. And I think that's where women need to start, not by going to the gym as priority number one.
Yeah, amazing. So let's say I'm a woman and I'm 20 pounds. I want to lose 20 pounds and I come to you. What would you say then's the first? And yeah, what have you done? I've done Weight Watchers, I've done Slimming Well, I've done keto.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that you're saying to me that I either need to kind of change or look into to kind of start that transition?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing we would have to do like a very deep analysis of your current routine, right? And we quite often work with more high performance women that are naturally quite busy, and they're usually quite driven.
Mm,
So as far as getting them to tick boxes is concerned, it isn't the biggest struggle in the world. But our ladies typically struggle with high stress, is one. They typically have very high stress. They typically
Mm,
have very little time. So their nutrition is grab and go from prayer
mm,
or, just canteen from their workplace. So we usually start by just getting a complete understanding on what is the biggest thing holding this person back.
mm.
In my experience, it's a mixture between a hamster wheel of on, off, on, off, on, off. As soon as work's busy, I'm off the ball. As soon as it's
Yeah.
good, I'm on the ball, and so forth. And the second thing for me that I would say most women need to start with is we would actually start with things like evening routine. Let's get your sleep. If we can add
Mm,
15% deeper quality sleep, your next day's discipline with nutrition is going to be considerably better. Your cortisol is going to
mm,
drop. Your appetite is going to be more regulated. So we would usually go sleep, general activity day to day, and a base understanding of a nutrition structure, which usually starts with meal plans. I find if we
mm.
leave women to their own devices, and I'm sure this is the same with men as well, right? But almost leaving them to their own devices to figure it out, it gets overwhelming. So it's just, okay, for the first couple of weeks, we're going to tell you what to eat. It just takes thinking away. You don't need to overwhelm. You just know what to do and you can take action. They're the kind of foundations we start with. And then we kind of move on to slightly more advanced things like a little bit more advanced training techniques or a little bit more advanced nutrition structure or maybe even a little bit more flexible with the nutrition.
Mm.
But we would usually start with reducing overwhelm, taking the thinking away and kind of going, this is what you're doing now for the next couple of weeks as we lay these foundations.
Love it. So you're kind of looking at a macro picture, right? You zoom out and you say, actually, before you start going on the treadmill and getting up 7 o'clock for a run and this, like, let's have a look at where you are. Let's
Yeah,
have a look at your environmental factors. Let's have a look at your
yeah,
stress, your sleep, your hormones. And then you kind of get the house in order first before kind of, like you said,
absolutely.
laying those bricks kind of thing.
I think a big thing for our ladies as well, sometimes their self-belief is crushed. And
Mm.
oftentimes it's because like they have high belief within the workplace and career, but they're often saying things like, Reece, I've tried everything. I've
Mm.
tried everything. Nothing's worked. My
Apart
body's
from the thing that
broken.
actually works.
Apart
I've
from the thing
tried
that actually
everything
works, right?
apart
Yeah.
from, yeah,
Yeah. Apart from actually trying to lose weight properly,
yeah.
right? But sometimes on the front end, it's instilling self-belief. It's helping them understand they're unique, but they're not
Mm.
special, right? Because they don't have a broken body, they've had a broken strategy. So we'd usually start with the mindset kind of strategies as well. We'll share stories of ladies very similar. We've had ladies with chronic liver illnesses lose over 100 pounds and
Wow.
save their life. We've had ladies with who's post menopause, 56 years old, lose 178 pounds. We share these stories and go, if these ladies can transform with PCOS, endo, crazy work hours, children, single mothers, and so forth,
Mm.
is there any logistical reason why you can't too? And
Mm.
then when they kind of see that picture, it's like, if all of these ladies are working with this system, I'm not a special snowflake. I know nothing's worked in the past, but I don't have a broken body. It didn't work for these ladies in the past too, but they're still here telling the story. And that self belief they gain at the beginning from understanding that they just had a broken system in the past, not a broken
Mm.
body, helps them take action. Because it's all
Mm.
well and good us going, hey, do this with your sleep, do this with your training. But they don't believe it's going to work, it's going to be half-hearted. So we start with the
100%.
belief and then we go into the structure of the deliverables, if you will.
Yeah, love that. One of the things we do on the onboarding call when someone joins us, so they come through, we have an onboarding call before they even begin anything. And on this onboarding call, we don't talk about nutrition. We don't talk about exercise. We don't talk about anything kind of logistical with the plan. But I walk them through the 5 pillars of success within the
Yeah.
program. And I say, look, these are the 5 pillars. And they are literally the first one is like desire, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a burning desire to make it happen, right? Then the
Absolutely.
second one is belief,
Yeah.
right? And I show them a photo of Roger Bannister,
Oh
the
yeah.
guy who was the first guy ever to run a sub, uh, a
4 minute
mile,
mile.
yeah, 4 minute mile, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Brilliant.
I say like before this guy came along, do you know how many people would run it? Zero, right? Humans thought it was impossible,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Scientifically. And then I say this guy comes along and does it in 3 minutes 59, three. So was it sub 4 minute mile, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So he
under
comes
4 minutes.
in, yeah, he does it in 3 minutes 59 seconds and like point something. And I'm like, do you know how many people have run since? They're
Yeah,
like, no. I'm like, over 2,000,
yeah,
right? So how have we gone from thinking it was impossible to
Yeah.
then 2000 over 2000 people being able to achieve that? Belief, right? Like you suddenly believe it's possible,
100%. Yeah.
you know?
Because the brain looks for evidence. Like whenever, like this is why I think like just shouting affirmations in the mirror is never going to work, right?
Mm,
When we look at I spoke with he's a millionaire mindset coach. His name's Gavin McHale. I don't know, you might know him too, but he always says like the brain looks for evidence when we're
mm,
looking in okay, can I achieve something, right? So if I'm sitting there as a woman that's going, nothing's worked for me in the past, and I go, I want to lose 20 pounds, instead of me going, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and almost praying for the thing, I'm going to find evidence. So I might say, have I done anything in the past that I said I won't be able to do, but I achieved it anyway? Well, I
mm.
went for that promotion. I didn't think I'd get it, but I got it. Well, I didn't think I'd be able to find, my dream husband in that little patch when I was, alone. Found him. Okay, well, there's a few examples of times I didn't have belief, but I achieved something anyway.
Yeah.
And then taking that a step further, it's sharing stories of women just like them, and like you would do with your members that join you, with clients that are similar. It's showing the evidence. And like the 4 minute mile, it's like no one thought it wasn't possible because there's no evidence. Someone done it. And I think a part of that story, I believe there's like 50 people that done the 4 minute mile within like that year or something after
Yeah.
he accomplished it. It's just evidence, and
Yeah.
it gives self-belief, right?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything you said there. And another thing, sometimes like, when my ladies come to me and, they can get a little bit flustered sometimes, a little bit stressed, a
Yeah,
little
of
bit
course.
overwhelmed. And I try and say to them, like, all right, well, like you said there, let's look at the evidence. Let's
Mm,
say they're a 50-year-old mom, three kids, they've got a house, they've got a husband, and they've got a decent job. And I go, well, is this the first time you've ever struggled with anything in your life? No. Okay, cool. So tell me about a struggle that you had, and then they'll come up with like this big thing, right? Like it's,
yeah,
traumatic event. And I'm like, well, did you manage to get through that? And like, well, yeah, well, yeah. So I'm like, well, exactly. There's your evidence, right? So if you can
yes,
get through something like that, then you can get through the struggles that you're going through right now with your
100%.
journey.
Yeah,
And they're like, do you know what? When you put it like that, like you're right. I'm
yeah,
like, exactly. It's the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
absolutely.
And I think mindset is so underestimated when
Agreed.
it comes to this because people think, man or woman, it's my diet, it's my workout program.
Yeah,
And I say to people, nah,
yeah.
that's not what's going to get you in shape.
100%.
What's
I
going to
used
get
to
you?
actually think mindset was all like woo woo, and it's like
Yeah, yeah.
like, but then when you look at the bigger picture, like you can only the diet, the best diet is the one you adhere to, right?
Yep.
And if psychologically you're not all there ready to commit, it don't
Mm,
matter how good your diet strategy is, you can have the most scientifically perfect strategy. If you're
mm,
mentally not ready to commit, you're never going to achieve shit, right?
exactly.
You'll get
Yeah.
further with a horrible plan, but a mindset to achieve it because at least you're moving somewhere, right?
100%, man. 100%. Talking about knocking confidence in women
Mm.
and lack of self-belief, how do you feel like the scale impacts that whole
Mm.
dynamic?
Well, yeah, massively. It can be different now. The advice, because look, we only work with women, we get this a lot. And we always try to manage expectation from day one when it comes to things like scale weight. Now, if somebody can't take a logistical view to the scale, we usually don't recommend using it at all. If you have
Love
an
it.
emotional relationship with the scale, don't use it
Love that.
because look, your emotion will fluctuate when the scale fluctuates, which means your actions will be skewed a little bit. When you're frustrated, you start your
Yeah.
morning on the scale, it pumps up, and you're like, "Ugh, what's
Yeah.
the point of going to the gym? I want to go half-hearted."
Hmm.
So we can usually get women into a logistical mind frame when we're looking at the scale. So we start with practicing that, getting a logistical mind frame with the scale. We're gonna educate you and going, okay, the scale will fluctuate. 9 times out of 10 with a lot of our ladies, we get them to eat more food, not less, because they're
Mm,
usually under eating. So they come to us and we give them more food than they used to fire up their metabolism and hormones. And then we go, hey, look, as you're eating more, the scale will jump up to begin because you're
mm,
going to retain more water within the body. So, do you understand that your scale weight will fluctuate to begin higher? Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. We're going to introduce certain supplementation and whatever it may be. So they understand, okay, the scale is going to fluctuate. Then we show them how it's going to literally look like this. Like weight loss is not a straight
Mm.
line, it's a
Yeah.
staircase,
Never.
right? It's going to be great off, great off, great off for a very long time.
Yeah.
Then the third kind of part to that is we would get our ladies to weigh in as many days of the week as possible, not once a week.
Mm.
Once a week on a fluctuation will fuck your mind, right? 3, 4, 5 times a week and taking the average across the week gives us a more accurate reading for us to go, okay, so you can logistically see, right, that Monday was 64, Tuesday was 64.8. We'll educate them on how weight loss works and how fat gain works and how
Mm.
1 pound of body fat has 3,500 calories. So we go, was you in a surplus of 3,500 calories yesterday? They're
Mm.
like, no, of course not. I had 1,800. Great. So you understand logistically, this point 0.8 of an increase scientifically is impossible, right? It's
Mm.
like, well, yeah, now I do, yeah. So then they can kind of look at it logistically. Okay, great. So
Yeah.
my scale weight increase isn't body fat because scientifically that's impossible if I had 1,800 calories yesterday. So when they get educated, I think the scale is a great tool for data. But if you look at it emotionally, I think it can
Yeah.
mess with your mind
For
and
sure.
almost put you off the track a little bit.
Yeah, and if you can remove the emotion, so much easier, which is fine for us because we're not emotionally attached
Yeah.
to like their numbers on scale, so we can look at it objectively, right?
Yeah.
And I think removing, because another thing as well, once you remove that emotion, um, they can step on the scale, see it go up, and I always say to my ladies, no one actually gives a shit how much you weigh. Like when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like
Of
let's
course.
say you haven't seen someone in ages, they're not gonna go, "Oh my gosh, how much do you weigh?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
You're not
gonna
gonna
go,
take the
"Wow,
scales to
you
the
look
beach.
great. Yeah, you look great. What have you been doing?" And
Mm,
I try and say, like, the only person that actually cares about how much you weigh on the scale is you.
for sure.
No one else gives a shit. And
For sure.
what does that even mean? Like, so say you want to lose 15, 20 pounds. Like, what does that even mean? Well, you're probably more concerned about your confidence, your energy. How do your
Mm,
clothes fit?
absolutely.
And if you get too attached to that number on the scale, you can think that you're not making progress. You f can forget about the bigger picture of why you're even doing this. And then you, like you said, they might half-ass it. You can go, just be in a bit of a foul mood. But then the pictures tell a completely different story. And you're like, look how much progress you're making. And you're frustrated and disappointed for no reason because the number on the scale's gone up. But look at this.
100%. Yeah.
I got one lady in my program, Katie, and the scale weight hasn't changed much. But one of her goals when she first said to me was, I want to get back into this white pair of jeans. I think it was like I
Mm,
remember. So we set a goal in her profile. It was like fit back into white jeans.
yeah.
And she was going, oh, the scale's not moving much, so and so and so and so. I was like, well, okay, where are those white jeans? Oh, they're in the wardrobe. Tomorrow, go and put them on. Tell
Brilliant.
me how they
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
So what do you think? She messages me, oh my God, I can't believe it. Jeans fit well. I'm like,
Absolutely.
exactly. That's what we're going for. That's the bigger
Yeah.
picture. Like the weight loss is a byproduct. We don't care. I don't care if your weight goes up if you look 10 times better in yourself, you know?
100%.
And I think, yeah, it's interesting. So from your perspective, then, if they have any kind of emotional attachment, don't weigh yourself. And if you do, try and do it every day to take the average so that you look at it more
Yeah.
objectively.
Ideally, yeah. Because the other thing is the menstrual cycle. I mean, some ladies will be postmenopause and won't
Mm.
have a menstrual cycle. But for the ladies, like when it comes to the late luteal phase, like, oh my God, like I've increased in weight. It's like, well, where are you on your cycle? Ah,
Yeah.
late luteal. Well, that's why you've increased in weight. You understand that, don't you? Yeah. It's like sometimes you just need a reminder of the
Mm.
logistical approach, like the objective view of it, right? But yeah, if somebody is too attached to the scale, that it determines their emotion,
Yeah.
and
And
that therefore
self-worth.
determines, yeah,
Yeah.
self-worth, their actions and decision
Mm.
making, then we would, because there's hundreds of points of data we would track. Energy, libido, sleep quality, how clothes are fitting, strength in the gym, cognitive performance, like all of these parts to play of a transformation are big metrics. But then if the scale shadows every other metric, it then becomes a pointless metric to track because it
Mm.
determines your actions based on all these other metrics, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if somebody can't disassociate the scale from their emotions, then we would remove.
Yeah, love it, man. Completely agree as well. And interesting you said there, touched upon hormones, right? And I know you said
Mm,
very different for a woman compared to a man. There's so many different hormonal fluctuations going on internally. And it's incredible as well what a woman's body can do. Like my
it is.
fiance, we're expecting our first baby, right?
Oh,
And
congratulations.
thanks, brother. And like she's growing my fucking baby, and it's like it's wild when you think
Wild,
about
isn't
it.
it?
Wild, like
Yeah.
my level of appreciation for a woman's body has just like
Ah,
skyrocketed, dude. I'm like,
absolutely.
how are you growing organs and bones inside of you? Like it's
100%.
mental. But going back to this specifically, then hormones are something that are massively
Yeah.
overlooked as well, right? What are some of the kind of practical tips, advice you could give women to, like you said, zoom out first, look at the bigger picture, optimize the
Mm.
environment, get the hormones in check? What could would you suggest to get the hormones more optimized before you kind of even begin weight loss,
Yeah,
especially?
absolutely. Now, I mean, the best thing someone can do is blood testing because
Mm,
the foundations will kind of tidy up all hormones, really, right? Like if you've gone from an unhealthy lifestyle for the last 10 years, you've been eating junk,
mm,
takeaways, you don't move your body, you get no sunlight in your eyes, you're not exercising, you haven't been building muscle tissue, your hormones are going to be pretty out of whack. So just by fixing sleep, stress, your activity levels, also sunlight is a big one. Like in the morning, women, a lot of wild women,
mm,
first thing they do, they open up their laptop, they look at their phone,
mm.
right? Sends their hormones on a roller coaster, especially cortisol. So, like getting out, getting fresh air, getting sunlight in your eyes before an artificial blue light from your phone. These small little habits, supplementation where necessary, makes the world a difference straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Usually, we would start with all of our foundations, and then when the results happen, we don't necessarily need testing because, okay, all boxes are being ticked. But at that point, you've ticked all of your foundations, your sleep is better, your stress is managed, you're exercising, your resistance training, you're getting more activity, you're getting sunlight in your eyes, your nutrition is hitting every target, you're getting the right balance between all of your macros and micronutrients, you're eating enough food. Something that sends your hormones wild is under eating. But if
Mm.
you're ticking all of these boxes and then nothing moves, we're like, okay, blood testing is necessary, right? And we've looked into it and got every single box is being ticked,
Yeah.
do blood testing because something's not right, right? But
Mm.
for 99% of women, we tick the foundational boxes, which is like what the science tells us works. Most of the time, that would then have their metabolism firing, their hormones in a great place, and therefore their body becomes responsive again.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And like you said there, right? What habits or even non-negotiables can you create,
Yeah,
to start your day? Like, what are some of your best clients? What are some of their kind of like daily non-negotiables or habits?
absolutely. I mean, the absolute non-negotiables for us, like hydration's one.
Mm,
Hydration's one. It's really important. Number two is an evening routine because a lot
mm,
of our ladies with children and stress, they'll scroll their phone, doom scroll, and then go, "Oh,
mm.
I'm gonna go to bed." Put their phone off,
Yeah.
shut their eyes. So, little things like a 45 minutes before you go to bed, you have what's called a reverse alarm, an alarm that goes off, which is almost like an accountability reminder. Switch off the phone.
Calm down.
Very worst case scenario, if you need to work, put blue light blocking glasses on, but ideally do something to de-wind. Dim the lights, read a book, just conversate with your partner,
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? Non-negotiable if you want to improve your sleep, right?
Mm,
Other non-negotiables is regular movement. If a lot of our ladies, again, very sedentary, very office-based work. So it's just, you're not sitting there for fucking hours on end. It's every 60 to 90 minutes, you're up, you're moving your legs, you're getting some sunlight. Walking pads are great. Sunlight's even better,
mm.
right? What the sunlight can do for your mood, the getting the vitamin D is a game changer. And a lot of women will sometimes go to me, but Reece, I don't have the luxury of moving my body for 10 minutes every 90 minutes. Like I'm busy. To which I say, firstly, the human brain cannot productively work when you're staring at a computer for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours.
Mm.
Anything below 90 minutes, your productivity will considerably drop. This is just science. Good thing is you can't argue with science, right? So if you get up and move your body every 90 minutes, just for 10 minutes, you get up and you go for a little stroll, you will get more done in less time when you're back at the desk,
Yeah.
which means you'll get more work done by moving your body every 90 minutes than you would if you just stared at a computer. So that's another non-negotiable.
Mm.
And then exercise at least 3 times a week, resistance,
Yeah.
strength training at least
Yeah.
3 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah. I think massively, again, another component, people think weight loss, cardio. Well, actually,
Yeah.
maybe weight training, right?
Yeah.
Like, what can you do
100%.
to optimize metabolically, hormonally?
Yeah.
There's some awesome points. What interesting you touched upon there as well. I think it's helpful for people to know what are some of the worst things you can do for that. Like you mentioned there, doom scrolling, high stress levels. What do you see
Yeah.
as like a common factor in women?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the first thing you just mentioned, which is brilliant, is the strength training. You know, a lot of women, especially if they go through perimenopause, they're decreasing in our primary is
Mm,
testosterone for muscle building, but a woman's primary muscle building hormone is estrogen. And during perimenopause, estrogen drops, and then it increases the risk of osteoporosis because we lose muscle tissue. So things like strength training isn't just a foundation for naturally, your metabolic health, your physique as well. A lot of women don't want to be skinny fat. They want to be toned and confident, right? So
mm,
not only is it great for your physique and you speed up your metabolism because every 1 pound of muscle we burn 2 calories a day. Sorry, 6 calories a day. Every 1 pound of body fat we only burn two. So we burn calories 3 times faster with muscle in comparison to body fat. So there's those benefits. But the benefits beyond that, when you build muscle, especially going into later life, perimenopause, postmenopause, is you protect your body from things like,
mm.
osteoporosis. You protect your body metabolically. And that is such an underrated thing, carrying your own groceries. A lot of
Yeah.
women are scared to not be independent in later life as well. They don't want to rely on people and feel like they're a burden on those around them. They want to be strong, they want to be healthy. And strength training is important for that as well as aesthetics. So one mistake would be prioritizing cardio over your resistance training. And that's not to say cardio is not important. Heart health and fitness is massively important. But you can do low intensity cardio through walking or like a
Mm.
cycle, as an example. And then I would prioritize strength training. Other things that I would say quote is the worst thing you can do is everything surrounding sleep. Doom scrolling, then trying to go to bed, right? Or first thing you do in the morning, looking at your phone. Like these small little things as well makes a big difference. And I think the other one would just be having zero accountability or support
Mm.
because you're gonna have fuck it days. You're gonna have days that run away from you. Most women do not prioritize themselves.
I know. I
They
lost a
don't
lot of
prioritize
mums as
themselves.
well. I don't know if you found that.
Yeah. Kids come first, husband
Yeah.
comes first, career comes first. And one of our ladies, she spoke at one of our events. Her name's Parminder. And one thing she said, which is amazing, she has a business for children's psychology.
Mm.
And she said, when you're in an airplane and the oxygen masks drop, they say put your own mask on before you help other
Yeah.
people. Because if you run out of oxygen, you ain't gonna be able to put nobody else's mask on. So
Yeah.
if you want to put your children first, you have to put you first. No question. No
Mm.
question. If you're at the bottom of your pile, your kids are at the bottom of your pile, your career's at the bottom of your pile. You
Yeah.
can't pour from an empty cup. So I think the biggest mistake women have is they have no accountability, which means they don't prioritize themselves. And therefore, everything suffers. Because if you're the
100%.
person who's the leader, who looks after people, who's the high performer, a lot of our ladies are high performing women. Without self-prioritization, they drop. It's
Mm.
natural, right? Same as me. If I don't prioritize my strength, I don't prioritize my health, and damn, I don't prioritize how I feel.
Yeah.
I won't show up every day to my absolute best,
Yeah.
just like these women who put themselves at the bottom of the priority list.
100%. Can literally could not agree more. And also that's ties in fact with the willingness to actually invest in yourself, right?
Yes.
Invest time, money, and energy into yourself, which is so important because
Yeah,
otherwise, how can you be the best version to other people?
for sure.
You
A
know,
100%.
it's interesting that you say that because going back to my Cara, my fiance, becoming a mum, I've said to her many times, and she's also on this vibe, like, I do not want you to just become mum,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I speak to
identity. Yeah,
so many women, and I'm sure you can as well, where they kind of lose themselves.
for sure.
Like they lose their own identity. And then what happens is the kids grow up, flee the nest, and then all of a sudden they find themselves in this kind of rut.
A hundred
And
percent.
it's just been because you haven't put yourself first. Your whole identity has become mum. You forgot about Sarah, the daughter, the friend, the
Yeah,
colleague,
yeah,
the
yeah.
wife. And I see that just never really ends well. And then, they're on the phone saying, oh shit, I need help. I'm ready to put myself first.
Identity is one of the biggest things. And it's
Mm.
funny because when I speak about identity on like my social media as an example,
Hmm.
I'll always get someone going, "Oh, you're a guy, you don't get it. Like, what are you talking about? How dare you talk about us women? You have no idea." I'm like, guys, I get 25 applicants per day to Smart Body Performance. I see it. You guys tell me this. I'm not just making this up. Like, I get 25 applicants
Yeah.
per day onto our program and I see what they say. I feel horrible in photos. I avoid the camera altogether. I won't go on
Mm.
vacation. I cover up in hot weather. I avoid things like hikes and I go, you go ahead, I'll be fine. I compare myself to people bigger so I don't feel like the problem's as bad as it actually is. I see this all the time. It's not opinion, it's what I see,
Yeah.
right? And what you just mentioned there, identity is a huge one. I've
100%.
lost myself. I don't recognize myself. I've just lost my identity altogether. My identity
Mm.
is mom or it's wife, right? And it's not Sarah anymore. And it's so sad. But once you focus and prioritize you and you regain that identity, I always say, like, look, everyone around you is going to benefit, your kids, husband, career, etc. But most
Yeah.
importantly, you benefit. Like, you
Mm.
deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel confident. You deserve to feel like Sarah again,
Yeah,
right? And
for sure.
I think that's the priority. I like women not going into it doing it for their kids. And that sounds
Mm.
silly, like, right? Because it's a natural byproduct. But what I try to show them is you've put your kids first your entire life. If you want your kids to see the best message, show them self prioritization. Show them you're doing it for you. So when they grow up, they don't think they have to do something that's benefiting them just for the service of other people. They can go, oh, it's cool to put myself first. It's cool to be confident. It's cool to be healthy. And it's cool to do things for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah, love that. What kind of identity shift or mindset do you think women say they want? Because one thing we spoke about, right, is long-term progress.
Yes,
Yeah. Not
absolutely.
just, oh, I'm going on holiday. I'm gonna
Hmm.
fucking do, throw the kitchen sink at this for the next 8 weeks, go on holiday,
Yeah.
come back, boom, right? Blow up again.
Yeah.
What kind of approach slash mindset do you think women need to have compared to what they think they should have to ultimately get long-lasting change?
I think one that we mentioned was self prioritization.
Hmm.
That's one mindset strategy they have to have. If you don't prioritize yourself, you will come up and hit a wall and not
Mm.
overcome it. That wall could be house renovations. And you go, oh, that comes before me now.
Yeah.
Disneyland, that comes before me now,
Yeah.
right? So I think self prioritization is extremely important. You come first, right? Because if you put yourself first, you can, everything else comes. Because a good way I've seen it explained is imagine you're a table, right? It sounds silly, right? There's a table, okay? If you have kids on the table, you have your career on the table, you have your husband on the table, you have your social life on the table, you take one of those away, you've still got all of the others, right? Let's say I take your career away, you still have your social life, you still have your husband, you still have your kids, right? If I take your social life away, you still have your kids, you still have your husband, you still have your career. If I take you away, which is the table, if I take the table away, everything else drops. You have nothing. If you take the table away, if you take your health away,
Yeah.
because a lot of people will hit health trauma and don't understand they're shaving years off their life,
Yeah.
right? And I know it sounds dramatic, but guys, this is your health. Like, we're
Mhm.
not talking about getting a new cat. Like, this is your actual health.
Yeah.
You can literally be shaving years away. So you take that table away, i.e., hitting health trauma. If we look at the statistics, if you have too much visceral fat protecting vital organs, you increase the risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, stroke, right? These are all extremely important things. You take that table away being your health, everything else goes, right? So I
Mm.
think the biggest thing for me, I would say, is self prioritization and not negotiating with your health. It's not, oh, now work's busy, so I'm not going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Now we want to do our kitchen up, so I'm no longer going to invest into healthy foods or a coach or supplements
Yeah.
or whatever's improving your health. Don't negotiate with your health and self prioritize are the two that I would say.
Love that. I love that. And to piggyback onto that as well, I would add into having a long time horizon.
Yes, for
Because I
sure.
always say, like, well, when does your health and fitness finish? The day you die,
Yeah,
whether you like it or
absolutely.
not,
Yeah,
right? And I think
yeah,
having that self-prioritization, not negotiating with yourself, having that self-value is so
yeah.
important. But that's not oh, it's January, I'm ready to put myself
Hmm.
first thing. That's, hey, you should be thinking like this for the next
Yeah,
20, 30 years of your life.
100%. And it comes down to language as well. Like, when I say one of the sustainability pillars, there's three. The first one is a unique program for you. The second is enjoyment, and the third is education. But
Mm,
under that comes identity shift, and people are like, what does that mean? Like, what does that look like?
yeah.
All right, first example could be if you're thinking, okay, great, I'm going to start a diet insinuates there's an end date.
Yeah.
Instead, we're just changing your lifestyle. Lifestyle
Yeah.
is a continuum, right? It comes down to the language you use. And if I
100%.
go, okay, I'm just changing my lifestyle, I'm insinuating a long-term transformation. If I'm
Yes.
going on a diet, I'm insinuating I'm going to do this for 4 months and then I'm going to see what happens.
Yeah.
So I couldn't agree with you more. A long-time horizon is an absolute foundation.
It's not even a choice.
No,
It's not even like you have the choice. It's like
no,
the time horizon is the rest of your life, whether you like it or not.
absolutely.
Like you said, you can't argue science. Like I don't make up the rules, you don't make up the rules.
Yeah.
Just encourage you to follow the rules. And
Yeah.
that is, hey, instead of going on this 12-week shred, why don't you just try and eat slightly better for the rest of your life?
A hundred
You
percent.
know,
Yeah. A
instead
hundred
of
percent.
yeah, instead of 6 to 7 workouts this week, why don't you commit to doing 3 per week for the
Yeah.
next 52 weeks of the year, kind
A
of thing,
hundred
you know?
percent. Yeah. A
Um,
hundred percent.
which is awesome. But I love how we've obviously got the logistical side of things, like we were saying, metabolism, hormones, stress, cortisol, etc. But really and truthfully, the whole mindset and identity plays a bigger role, really, when
Agreed.
it comes to that. And I think, again, that's massively overlooked, even
It
going
is.
down to the desire, the belief, the foundations of success, which is absolutely incredible, man. Um, Awesome, bro. I want to do a quick rapid fire, just a
Go
fun little
ahead.
thing. I think just to give a bit more value here, I think it's interesting going back to what you said at the very start about your mum and watching her go through
Yeah.
those struggles and those pains and like seeing her make those mistakes. And if we can do everything by educating more women to empower them with the knowledge to make the right decisions, the world's going to be a better place.
It is.
So I'm gonna spit some questions at you just off the top of the dome. Don't think too deeply into it.
I enjoy these.
Um,
Go ahead.
Biggest fat loss myth women still believe.
Carbs make you fat.
Oh, love it, love it. One habit every woman should focus on first.
Strength training 3 times a week.
Ooh, love it, amazing. Any tips around strength training particularly?
Do it.
Um,
No, I mean the biggest tip is don't overwhelm yourself and don't do things that's going to make you feel like you can't sustainably keep it going. If you want to go to the quiet areas and use a couple of machines, if you just want to do it with resistance bands from home, like when I say do it, I mean do something that's going to be sustainable. Like if you go to the weights area and you're just kind of like a bit intimidated, a bit worried, and you think I can't keep this up long term, don't do it. Just
yeah.
find your bearings. As long as you're in there and you're lifting things and putting them down again, you'll be just fine.
And you're not gonna get too big,
Oh, that's
right?
the biggest. That's a big myth. Actually, that's a great myth. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do find out how to get too big, like let me and Reece know. Because I'd be interested to know how you can lift
It's
weights and
like
get
someone
too
saying
big.
like I'm scared to sing in the shower in case I become a pop star. It's like you
Yeah,
don't
in
just
case I get too
accidentally
good.
become a pop star, right?
Yeah, love it, love it. One thing women should stop doing immediately.
Putting every single thing and person before themselves.
Yeah, love that. That was a tricky one, but that's a great answer. Love that. Um, we touched upon this one. Scale, friend, enemy, or it depends.
It depends. More friend than enemy because data is data, but yeah, it depends.
Love it. Biggest mistake women make when it comes to food and calories.
Having no idea what their intake is. We always say tracking is great 'cause it creates awareness. If you just wing it, you're never going to transform, right? So I'm going to say no awareness around their intake.
Yeah, love it. And just piggyback off that, what do you think is more common? Undereating or overeating when it comes
Believe it
to
or not,
fat loss?
under-eating, I would say. I would
Mm,
say under-eating. Well, I
I would
would say
agree.
it's almost a like it's both, but it's almost a roller coaster. Under-eating for a couple of weeks, overeating for a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
under-eating for a couple of weeks. But I would say the trigger for that roller coaster is under-eating. So just almost restricting for too long, not being able to keep it up. overeating and then having a holiday and then undereating. So I would say undereating, but I would say they kind of almost are they kind of go together. Like they undereat, overeat, and it's just this never ending cycle.
For sure. And the nuance behind that, just for anyone listening to this going, well, I'm an undereater, right? There's a there's a big difference between undereating calories versus undereating food volume, right? And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
overeat by eating like one meal a day if that one meal is a 2,500 calorie Domino's stuffed crust fucking
Yeah, yeah,
Chicago
yeah, of
pepperoni
course. Yeah,
pizza, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
And this is the thing where, like, sure, volume wise, you're probably not eating that much food, right? One pizza
Mm,
throughout the day is not necessarily going to be like a lot of volume of food.
yeah,
And you can think, well, I'm under eating. Well,
yeah.
actually, well, try and go and eat 2,500 calories from eating things like potato, vegetable,
So hard.
chicken, right? Yeah, it's fucking hard, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm sure you've gone through like stages of cutting and bulking.
Yeah.
Like, bulking's hard, man.
It's a tough. Your stomach has stretch sensors as well. Like you get those full signals to your brain when you're eating a lot of fiber, protein, high
Yeah,
volume. It's
it's hard.
actually We generally have so many women go, I'm struggling to hit all these calories,
Yeah.
and it's because for the first time they're actually eating a very strategic, structured plan as opposed to just going, oh, I only had a little salad, but then it's got
Yes.
olive oil and salad dressing and croutons, and it's like,
Yeah.
that little salad was 1,000 calories.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think it's really key. Anyone listening going, I don't get how you can undereat. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, yeah, the volume or it's more to do with your food selection. Are you eating enough
Mm.
calories? Are you overeating from the wrong types of foods, kind
Yeah.
of thing. And I think that's awesome. Home workouts, enough or not enough?
Have the potential to be enough for sure. I think the home environment is one usually for relaxation. So I think psychologically, when you're working out from home, you're in a relaxing mood. I
Mm,
think the environment of a gym could almost give you a bit more oomph.
hmm.
But I mean, like if you can motivate yourself and you have equipment, then home workouts can be just as effective as gym workouts,
Yeah.
just as effective. But
Yeah.
psychologically, if you can't get yourself kind of pumped to get a good workout in, then no.
Mm. And then home workouts with equipment is different to home workouts with body weight as well, I would think. You
Yeah,
know, I think
yeah.
a lot of, I can't remember, I was having a conversation with someone and they were like, can I get in shape by doing like 50 sit-ups a day and 50 push-ups? I was like, I
Define
mean,
shape.
yeah, like how, yeah, define shape. Um, one lifestyle habit wrecking women's hormones.
Lifestyle habit. Undereating.
Yeah, biggest cause.
Undereating.
Mm,
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of the time, and a lot of women probably don't recognize it, but I think it's the different. I think it's when they undereat, overeat, undereat, overeat, undereat, overeat. I think that's
yeah.
a really, really big one.
Yeah, and then I suppose this ties in with the next one, like biggest reason for women regaining weight.
Over restriction. So over under eating to the
Mm.
point where your body just hits breaking point and then you overeat considerably. So I'd
Uh,
say restriction
it's just a vicious cycle you can get caught in, isn't it?
so easily.
Like,
So and people do it for years,
yeah, and
years
it fucks your metabolism doing that as well, by the way.
considerably. Yeah,
Like anyone, yeah, try not to do that. Like, really try not to do
please.
that. And then last one, this is a good one. What separates women who keeps results versus those who don't?
Great question. I would say those who buy into the holistic approach of transformation. And
Mm,
what I mean by that is women who use their body as the vehicle for more success in the rest of their life have
mm,
considerably more reason and motivation to stick with their healthy lifestyle. I.e., I'm transforming, I feel great, so I get photos. I have more photos with family, I have more memories to look back on when I'm older. I've got a lot more energy, which means I can run around my kids after work and I'm not
yeah,
snappy. I've got more libido and a better mood, so me and my husband has a better relationship. I go out with friends and I don't avoid social events anymore. When you look at it from that lens and you've got a deeper why, as opposed to I just kind of want to lose 5 pounds because that'd be cool.
mm,
That stronger and deeper why will make you stick to your transformation journey forever. If it's just a surface level goal, where it's like, oh, I just kind of want to lose weight, that'll be cool. You're gonna hit a point where you go, oh, I can't be fucked to do it today, and you're
Yeah.
just gonna go, oh, I won't do it then, because your why is not powerful enough. So I say those who have a strong why behind their transformation are the ones who stick to it long term.
Yeah, that's a wicked answer, man. And again, adding to that, I would say there's also the difference, right, between intrinsic versus
Mm,
extrinsic value.
for
And
sure.
sometimes I say to people, just enjoy, like, because the way I coach people is very much like, I just tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. So
Yeah,
I'm like, just
tough
sometimes
love.
just enjoy the suck. Do
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like when
Absolutely.
you're at the gym on a Friday night and no fuckers about, and you're going, oh God, what am I doing here? Like enjoy that, man. Like just
100%. Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
that being there, going,
Absolutely.
everyone else is going out and probably ordering takeaway, and here I am like slugging it out on the Stairmaster, like after I've just crushed a workout. Like enjoy that grind of just being the person that you said
Yeah.
you were gonna be,
Get
you
comfortable
know?
being uncomfortable.
Get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable with being lonely and weird because even just by taking that step with your health and fitness, you are like in the top, what, 5, 10%?
God,
Like
if
anyway.
that, even lower than that, for sure. Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think that comes to, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, just enjoy just doing this.
Yeah, for
Enjoy that
sure.
grind. Enjoy the suck.
Enjoy being weird and actually focusing on you.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a whole different topic for another day as well. Like how you're weird if you don't drink alcohol.
Oh,
Do
yeah, of
you know what I
course. Yeah. I mean,
mean?
I do still drink sometimes, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and like if you say to someone like, "Oh, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna have the drink," and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" You're like,
Yeah,
"Well,
yeah.
there's
Who do you
nothing
think
wrong
you
with
are?
me. I
Yeah,
just don't want to have a beer tonight."
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
bro, epic, absolutely epic, man. I hope this episode has been as enjoyable as it has for you listening as it has for me with Reece. Bro, where can people go to find you?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, thank you for inviting me on. I'm a big fan of your work, and it's been great to connect and chat and share our thoughts on health and fitness. It's been a lot of fun. Best place is Instagram. It's just Reece Hallard, REECE HALLARD. I'm very kind of straight talking with things. So if you don't like that, I probably wouldn't recommend going over. Um, but yeah, everything we share is from a place of kindness. So yeah, I hope it was
Yeah.
useful.
Love that, man. I'll drop your tag in the show notes as well. So where are we? February 2026. What's on the cards for Reece for the next year or so?
What's on the cards? Well, I mean, we've got our Miami event, so we host retreats every year for our ladies. We done Marbella last year, which was a lot of fun. This year we have Miami. Miami will be in June for a little event with our ladies, which is always good fun. We have a lot of ladies in the States as well, so it's a
Mm,
local event for those guys. And then it's just going to be continuing to expand our team. You know, we have a team of 9 at Smart Body Performance now, and it's just continuing to give people not just body transformation opportunities, but career opportunities, and just to continue to grow and spread the message and transform lives. How about
oh,
you?
that's epic, man. That's epic. Well, baby, big one, becoming
Of
a dad.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
becoming a dad. We're looking at buying another property in a month or two.
Nice.
So it's like new baby, new house. Like who dis?
Yeah, 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 I
Um,
love it.
but yeah, just same thing, continuing to grow our community, get some more amazing transformations. And
Mm,
yeah, man, I think life's gonna change being a dad, but not in a bad way, in a better way, right, obviously. And
of
and if anything,
course.
it makes me more inspired to want to be the
I
best
bet it
version of
does.
myself. And like we were saying, self-prioritization. Like I'm even more
100%.
self-prioritize, because I know it'll make
Yeah,
me a better father. I know it'll make me a better role model. I know it'll make me a better
that's
partner.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
there's things we basically preach what we teach, right? You know,
Yeah, practice what you
like
preach. Absolutely.
you gotta if you're gonna talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk. So yeah,
100%.
big year coming up, man. Big year coming up. Dude, thank you
Exciting.
so much for hopping on. I really appreciate your time. It's been amazing to connect. Can't
Yes.
wait till this one goes out. And for everyone who has enjoyed the podcast, leave a review, pass the pad, right? Let someone know about the pass the pod. Let someone know who you care about so we can get more amazing
Absolutely.
people onto this podcast. Reece, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.